Hi there everyone. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at encryption again and some string manipulation, but we're going to add a couple other features to our encryption in order to really make it a little bit more complicated. So what I've done again is I've written this program for you and we're going to take a look at it step by step. Again, this has been programmed all in the main program, which isn't always ideal, but for the sake of explaining this, explaining the string manipulation and things, it's going to work a little bit better this way. So we're now running some larger and larger programs. So I'm hoping you're establishing some good programming habits. I'm hoping also that you're establishing some good habits when it comes to watching these tutorials. Are you using split screens? Are you reviewing them? Are you watching them 2 or 3 times? Are you taking some notes? Are you rewinding them when things get a little bit confusing? It's valuable to get very good at these, not only for this course, but in the future as well, because there's so many things we can learn when it comes to computer programming and computer science through these videos that are available online, but also there's so many things you can learn about other things. So the internet's full of these great instructional videos, so we want to get used to being able to use those effectively. So in this program, I'll actually run the program first so we can see exactly what it does. It's similar to our Caesar cipher program, so please enter a message to encrypt. I'll write these tutorials are amazing! Exclamation mark, of course. And when I press enter, it says the encrypted message, and it gives us what our actual encrypted message is. One thing you notice right away is that the encrypted message is longer than the original message, which means we must have added some extra characters to it to throw off the person maybe that's trying to decrypt this message or something like that. So that's important as we look at this program and this algorithm. So we'll take a look through. First of all, of course, we have a string for our original message. We have a string for a reversed message. So we're going to actually reverse the message. So we're going to flip it from back to front. We have a string for our encrypted message. We have a string for extra string 1. And these are going to go to the front of the message. And then we have a string for extra string 2, which is going to go at the end of the message, just to throw the person off and add some extra characters. We have a character variable called temp char. Temp extra char. We have an integer variable called temp ASCII, and then we have an integer variable called temp extra ASCII. So we'll see how this goes. We prompt the user, enter a message to encrypt, and of course that's stored in original message. And then right away, there's lines of code that will actually reverse this message. So it reverses the message from back to front and basically builds it backwards. So it takes a look at the very last letter, puts it first, and then takes a look at the second last letter, puts that second, and basically builds this message in reverse. Next we step into a for loop, and this is a for loop similar to the one you've seen before, which is basically it executes a Caesar cipher. So it takes all of the characters, turns them into an integer value, bumps that integer value by 3, stores it back as a character, and then puts it into the encrypted message string. So it builds up that string again, only each character has been bumped. So at this point, we've reversed the message and we've performed a Caesar cipher. This small little algorithm here, I'll take you through some of the commenting for this. So this generates a random integer between 97 and 122, which are the characters. It converts that random integer into a character, and then it adds the extra character to the temp extra string 1. So it's basically building up extra string 1. So it's not always going to be the same. So if you run this program a second time, you won't end up with those same kind of extra characters at the start of your message. They'll actually be randomized, which is very, very important. We then execute a small little algorithm that does the exact same thing, except it builds up extra string 2. So again, it randomizes a whole series of characters. In this case, there's going to be 8 of them. And it builds up this extra string 2 with just a bunch of random characters in it. And we use the numbers 97 to 122. So we're going to get characters within that range. We then add extra string 1, the encrypted message, and extra string 2. So we basically concatenate them all together. So we're gluing those 3 things together, and then we output the encrypted message. The nice thing with this algorithm is that you can decrypt it very easily. So we don't have the algorithm here, but you could decrypt it by removing the first 8 characters, removing the last 8 characters, doing a Caesar cipher shift of -3, and then reversing that message, and that would take you back to your original message. So this is a lot. There's a lot of different things coming at you here, but it's great to see how we're using strings and characters and for loops in order to encrypt this information.